Hi, it's Romy. Welcome to the channel, Sagittarius. If you have a Sagittarius sun, rising or moon, then this January 2021 soul story might resonate for you. It is a general reading, and I would encourage you just to check back in throughout the month and see how some of these insights and messages that come up might continue to make further sense and be more relevant to you as your own story unfolds. So let's take a look at what this first month of a new year wants to deliver for you. Okay, we're opening up with the energy of the world. Beautiful. And I think that you are still very much in the release and the processing and the kind of feeling your way into the deeply personal journey that 2020 was about for you. So this kind of exploratory energy needs time to kind of land, I think, but the world is in many ways bringing some things in your life to a natural point of closure, and as part of that there is a requirement, I think, for some acceptance and release to take place. And so this very reflective, but at the same time very responsive energy from you on an emotional level, I think is going to bring about some sense of a liberation and a feeling of just having a little bit more lightness starting to come through where there may have been some pockets that have felt much denser and heavier. Now we're still in Capricorn energy as we open up into this first part of January, and this earth energy is then complemented as Mars moves into Taurus on the 6th, and then we have Venus also moving into Capricorn on the 8th. And so collectively they are bringing about the opportunity for you to feel a little bit more productive and in many ways a bit more focused. Now there's this note that comes up in relation to January for you, Sagittarius, just when I was linking ahead of the reading, about really having the only expectation of yourself being the need to commit to the next moment and really to focus on what is in front of you and to just begin there and then trust that the rest will start to fill in. And I think that this idea is going to help you to much more fully invest in yourself and understand and respond more accordingly, more intuitively to what your energy is asking of you, your physical energy, your spiritual, your emotional, your well-being. And it's from that place that you're going to feel much more empowered to be the captain of your own ship, rather than feeling like you are at the mercy of, anyone or anything that is trying to suppress or to restrict or to limit your way of thinking, or somehow cloud what the vision or the way forward looks like for you. So we also have Mercury moving into Aquarius on the 8th of the month, and in this lighter air sign energy it makes for some very progressive, illuminated conversations. Now it lights up your third house, so it is very much about you starting to be much more aware about the thought forms that are supporting or indeed sabotaging some of the things that you're trying to materialize for yourself. So I think this is going to be a really important month, like I say, very reflective but also very responsive. So it's almost like you're taking immediate inspired action in the moment when you catch yourself either about to say something, about to do something. Now the energy of the sun coming in to partner with the world is really beautiful, and it's opening up some incredibly exciting, positive, expansive opportunities. So don't be tricked into feeling like things are more of the same. If you've been in a place or on a particular pathway that's been a little bit more heavy or arduous, for some of you, you might already be feeling into the new frequency and starting to interpret this in a new way. And the context is really everything. But even though I've got these big, bold energies coming through, I don't want you to lose the subtlety and the nuance of things that are going to be taking place and happening throughout January. It's really important, especially in that first half of the month as we build towards the Capricorn new moon, which is really like the beginning of the opportunity to kind of lay out your store and your vision for what you want to achieve. Now on the next day we have Uranus stationing direct in Taurus. Remember, whenever these planets move, they can be a little bit disruptive to our energy into things that happen in and around us till we find the new rhythm and flow of what they're trying to bring in. So just be aware of that by by way of any conversations or experiences that might unfold that feel a bit out of context or just come in to disrupt your flow in some way, okay? Now, the interesting thing that's happening this month that's going to be very poignant for you is your ruling planet Jupiter is squaring off to Uranus on the 17th. It's the only time it's going to happen in 2021. Now, Jupiter, obviously this planet of expansion, of growth, it wants to magnify, illuminate. And then we have Uranus coming in as the rebel that wants to shock, that wants to surprise, that wants to bring radical change and reform. Progressive. Now they're squaring, so this means that there's a clash, there's a pressure that's going to get built up, and then an explosion that comes from that can deliver a moment of brilliance, to deliver a moment of inspiration, of something that can happen very quickly in a very extreme way. Now, this can be very advantageous, and certainly it would suggest with some of the energies that are coming in for this first part of January for you, Sagittarius, you can harness and ride the wave of that. At the same time, it may also deliver this vibe where people are acting very extravagantly and making decisions and choices very impulsively and rashly. And so remember, when we're saying to focus on that subtlety and to be very aware of where you are in the moment, and that expectation should be very much about what you're feeling and intuiting, and kind of almost shutting out or creating a very strong boundary around yourself so that you're not kind of knocked out of kilter. Now, it definitely suggests to me that your awareness of how that energy can help support you and how it can drive you forward in a certain direction is something that is going to be found in the stillness and then harnessed in the way that things start to open up for you, okay? But we also have a full moon coming in the sign of Leo, a fellow fire sign. So again, it wants to bring something to fruition, something to light, and that is going to give you again this impetus to get moving or get going. So whether it's a realization or the culmination of something that finally gives you a green light. Now, when Uranus does move direct, it means that for a short period, we've got all of the stars clear so that we have no planets retrograde. And that's fantastic to be able to initiate and get something going. Now, even if you find yourself again in more limited circumstances, there's still so much you can do. And remember, everything is beginning with how you are changing the way that you think and how your attitude is shifting towards things. This Knight of Swords, in this particular deck, I always get a really beautiful, invigorated feel by him. And he's shown up a couple of times in the readings for January. And every time it's been the same vibe, which is that he's delivering news. He's about being progressive, innovative. It's about inspiring you to deliver change, and that change coming in much quicker than you might anticipate, okay? So I like that he's coming forth on that element of air to kind of harness and back up what Aquarius is now trying to demonstrate to us by way of the new vibe that we're going to be dealing with as we move throughout 2021, and we have a lot of the outer planets now in the sign of Aquarius. So it can be very supportive, but at the same time, we also just need to remember we do have Mercury going retrograde on the 30th. So we're going to be a little bit in shadow period, which means that things returning from the past, people, connections, but also the opportunity to see what do I want to take with me or revisit before I emerge more fully into this fresh new chapter. And just a little bit of a caution, because just around that Jupiter and Uranus squaring off, and then Mars squaring Uranus on the 23rd, there can be that tendency to want to just get rid of things and make very rash decisions to just start over, clear, end, complete, just because you're so desperate to have some kind of complete overhaul. So then the retrograde energy might remind you of something that actually you didn't really need to let go of, or perhaps you wished you'd kept in some form or another. So it doesn't mean to say that a fresh start has to mean getting rid of absolutely everything that you've put time, energy, attention and love in. So I just want to give you that as a little bit of a heads up. So This Knight of Swords, of course, does relate into an air energy, so that could be significant for some of you. But I also have the sense that you are gaining some clarity and focus in relation to something. So we have the energy of Temperance, which of course links into your sign Sagittarius. So that archetypal energy coming up in the main part of your reading is beautiful, because it suggests to me that even where we have two options, two pathways, you are going to find the right midpoint to be able to make the decision that's going to be most supportive to what you need to feel the most secure right now. I think there's going to be this interesting dialogue that's going to take place through the month of January for you Sagittarius, that's playing out in the sense of I know where I'm going, or I know what's happening over here. I can see there's movement, I can see there's change, I can see there's flux, and yet there's also things I need to tend to, I need to take care of, and I need to make sure that I've wrapped up or are secure or kind of tied down, or, you know, the foundation is set. And so there is this need to kind of make sure that you are giving yourself the opportunity to honour the fact that there are two different energy flows that are in existence at one time, and that you can trust the way in which you need to deal with things, and it doesn't mean that you're going to lose an opportunity or you're going to miss out on something, okay? Because I feel like in a certain regard, the energies are kind of like calling you in to focus you on something very specific, and there could be that feeling of like everything or everyone is getting going around me, and here I am being kind of locked or pinned or kind of held into dealing with this thing, but it is important. It's going to be like a key that's going to unlock something and really give you the opportunity to get more of a sense of some of the themes that you're going to be working on more poignantly in your own soul journey throughout the course of 2021. So finding that balance for yourself and what it's going to take to do that, I think, is important, and it will temper the energy of some of the swiftness with which the Knight of Swords wants to move through your path, which, don't get me wrong, I think is going to be really well received, but at the same time we just want to make sure it's coming in on a level that's going to be something that you don't regret, or that you are happy with the direction with which you are going to be moving, you know. I think in relation to connections and relationships, perhaps for some of you there is a feeling that something does need to be adjusted or changed in order to allow it to go to the next level. You know, this Knight of Wands here steps forth, and I love that the cloak is shrouding this like wide open galaxy. So the Nine of Wands is about the wounded warrior. It's about that energy where we feel like we can't keep going, but we need to persevere. And so what does it take to get us over the line, or to be able to reach the next level, or to take something forward even when we feel like we're being challenged, or there's fraught with difficulties around us? Well, there's an adjustment that's needed, and that understanding is going to come by way of you coming into acceptance with something within yourself first and foremost. And that feels like it comes in the subtlety and the nuance of you looking at conversations and how they play out and seeing your role in it. And I think that you're going to see that on a few occasions through this month of December, Sagittarius, and it's going to illuminate something that's really powerful for you, and it's going to set you free in some aspect of the way that you see yourself, how you perceive how you come across, and what your role is in a certain situation, whether that be a job or that be within the family or friendship or relationship, but understanding what your role is, and then understanding where you want to go from here, and kind of where everybody else stands in relation to that, I think is going to be absolutely fundamentally vital, so that you can make sure that you are directing your energy in the right way. So just this reminder again of the being reflective but also responsive. That's going to help you to figure out what your own very particular routes to happiness look and feel like. The energy of Empress coming in, of course, she links to Taurus. She brings in that beautiful energy of Venus. And, you know, as we're still in Capricorn season at the beginning of the month, still this focus in and around value, the way that you support yourself and how abundance flows to you in all of its forms. And I think that there's a reminder here that sometimes we need to go out and get from the world the things that we know are going to sustain and nourish us. It's like there's something about the inspired action and you just being ready to take what you know is rightfully yours in your own soul journey. It's this, I am deserving, I am worthy, I am enough to receive this at this moment in my life. And I think that that's going to give you a sense of confidence and remind you of your place and your position in a certain environment. And so that's going to be incredibly helpful for those of you that may feel at the moment in any way suppressed, or in any way that you're in a disempowering situation in some aspect of your life, because it's going to show you a different way of being, a different way of living and expressing yourself, and wanting to start to validate and bring in fresh energy that gives you a direct route to realize that for yourself. So there's a beautifully fertile, rich, creative, nourishing, sustainable energy that is coming in at the beginning of 2021 that might not straight away have all the answers that you're seeking, and so you do need to be a bit of an intrepid explorer. And again, maybe this Knight of Swords with your natural essence of just wanting to be out there on your own vision quest is going to help deliver for you some of the building blocks that you need to kind of start over, but not starting over from a place of way back at the beginning. It's just starting over on a new level. And remember, with the South Node in your sign through the course of this year, you are releasing, you are letting go karmically, wrapping up many, many contracts at that level that are about helping you to now realize what satisfies and nurtures your soul and where you need to be putting yourself to be able to draw that towards you. Now, the Nine of Cups coming in, this beautiful dove of peace holding a heart above your head. And I think that there are going to be times, again, when I'm, having this energy of you just being in the moment and really focusing on what is directly in front of you, and to a certain extent allowing some of the seeds that you've already sown and the actions that you've already taken to start to blossom and come to fruition around you. All of these butterflies are escaping. And there's going to be a time when you turn around and you fully get to realize and enjoy all of the riches of the things that you have been working so beautifully towards. But there is a timing aspect to that that's coming in. And in the meantime, we don't want you to lose heart, to lose faith. This is a time when it's absolutely faith over fear, to help sort of sustain you and give you the reminder of who you are and what you're showing up for. Nine of Cups is obviously about those wishes and desires coming to fruition. Sometimes they can feel like they're a bit elusive, or they don't stay around for long enough. And yet, as it anchors in and partners with that Empress energy, there's something that is much more sustainable about this that I'm really loving seeing showing up for you as early as January, because what I know is that you're going to be working in a new way with some of the energies to bring these things about for yourself, whatever area of your life you're going to be focused upon, whether it's trying to get more commitment through relationships and a higher expression of that divine love that you seek, whether it's about trying to realize more within your soul purpose and the vocation and the things that really sustain you and light you up, or within your family or the way that you are in the community. The strength that you have carved out for yourself through the last 12 months is coming back to remind you more powerfully than I think you've ever felt before the true essence of your soul, the true essence of who you are. And there's a bravery that comes with that nobody can take away from you. It doesn't matter in what circumstances you currently find yourself in, regardless of how down and out what has been taken away or temporarily moved out of your timeline, or however up against the wall you might feel in different circumstances. Like what you have developed by way of your own resiliency, even if it's not fully apparent to you yet, is going to come in that gives you the sense of perseverance and the ability to be able to overcome. And that's so important, because once you pass that level, it's like this new initiation that has opened up like a new level and unlocked a new door for you, really starts to deliver things that I think you've been waiting for some time to actually show up. Now, there's something that comes through with the energy of this particular card of strength, where you can see she's holding the snake here. Now, in one hand, it does represent that skin that you've just shed, you know, as we came through your solar returns, and you're now kind of feeling your way into what this new energy is going to be like on this next turn around the sun for you. But at the same time, I also feel like this is representative of you holding someone or something at arm's length. So there's an awareness of something that might not be good for you or has the potential to impact, disrupt, cause upheaval in some way. And I think that you absolutely know what that is. I don't think it's coming as a blind surprise at all. I think that the knowing is probably in part what has actually built some of that strength and resiliency within you, Sagittarius. And so as you hold this at arm's length with a very firm grasp, you are absolutely in an element of protection here as you focus on what it is going to take to nourish and sustain your energy, and make sure that you harness and tend to that in a way that is really building something meaningful for you. And at the right time, if it is right for you, I think that you can then allow that energy or connection or situation to come back in a way that you can deal with it from a much more empowered place. But if it's necessary, it feels through January particularly, to keep something at arm's length, then please follow your intuition in relation to that, because it is a month where the guides really want you to be investing in yourself first and foremost, okay? Now, I think you're going to be dipping your toe in the water with something, and I think it's going to feel like you can't really maybe get any immediate feedback, or there's an uncertainty as to whether you've made the right decision or really what's going to come from it, because a lot of that third house energy when we're working through Aquarius brings you back into the details of the immediate moment. And so maybe a little bit harder than usual to get a bead or a link on what the bigger picture looks or feels like. Rest assured, particularly as we come in toward the spring, you're going to get a much stronger indication of the direction with which that's going to take you and how it's going to open up for you. And as I look at the kind of galaxy beneath Temperance feet, and also the galaxy behind this wand within the Nine of Wands, and even behind the world here, it's just echoed all the way through your readings. There's something incredibly galactic, expansive, and really exciting that I feel is just starting to open up for you. And you will feel that in your energy field. I know that sounds a bit strange, but I think some of you that are starting to intuit a different way of commanding your own energy, this will land more fully. And if it doesn't quite yet, then be easy and patient with the unfolding of the changes that are taking place for you at a very personal level in your soul journey. But that feeling of expansive energy and like moving into like a completely different type of way of moving through the world is going to be something that also helps you to have a much deeper trust with your own guides and the messages that are coming through to kind of tell you which direction to move in, and the timing of when things are right for you. And this is really important. It's not going to be helpful to try to emulate or mirror or look at where someone else is on the path right now, because they are dealing with such different aspects to their own soul contract. And so you have to experience things and walk your own path and do it your way. Now, part of that for some of you might mean a walking away or a releasing of something. We've seen that you've just walked through the gate and it's almost closing behind you. So this might be something that is very much related to 2020 or that you've just been through, okay? We also have all of the cherry blossoms just coming through here. And so the Northern Hemisphere especially, that links for me into a timing aspect of end of March into April especially. So something really poignant about what you've let go of and what it's going to mean by way of manifestation and coming to fruition in and around that time. Now we've got these beautiful butterflies that are linking in again to your 9 of Cups, and even the colour themes here with the beautiful pinks and lilacs, again shown with the lotus flowers. So something difficult that you've been through, giving you a rite of passage and a sense of change and blossoming. And you know, the billowing opening up of her sari here and in walking into the light just suggests this moment of liberation, of freedom, and there's a vibrancy here in your energy that I feel really excited about. So the walking away doesn't have sadness with it, even if it does take a level of acceptance that you need to process and come to terms with. That's okay. You can be reflective, but the response then enables you to feel far more empowered, because what comes next is something that you have every right to feel excited about, because it feels absolutely directly connected to work that you have done or invested in, whether that be on an emotional level, on self-care, within a relationship, in your career. It's just something that you have applied yourself to that is coming back by way of reward and opening up of a new door, an opportunity. And there's something about the vibrancy of that I feel you've been ready for and almost had the indication of perhaps at different moments, but it's not felt like you were able to get a strong enough grasp of it to really make it tangible and fully manifest it, but that's coming. And with it is a time where you actually get to take some respite. You know, this beautiful full moon. We have this full moon in Leo coming in on the 28th, like we said, a fellow fire sign. And I think there is also the recognition that in that cycle, there are times we need to work and there are times we need to rest and step back and allow our energy to be conserved and harnessed. So time to just give yourself the opportunity to escape, you know, and I mean escape by way of into your imagination, in getting lost in the stories of people and things that inspire you is going to be really important. Allowing your physical body to be in a relaxed state is one of the most important things that you need to understand within this moment-to-moment experience of 2021, because that's going to allow the releasing of resistance, and it's going to allow all of your cells to awaken to the illumination of what you're trying to manifest and the positive and lighter filled energies that are trying to make their way to come in and support you, Sagittarius. So this is a general reading. I hope that you have found some resonance with some of the messages. Please do check back in and see how things continue to unfold. If you have a specific question that we haven't answered in this main general spread, then I'm going to just pull a couple of cards and we're going to go into that more in the extended version. So if you just focus on that for me now. Okay, now you can find the link for the extended reading in the description box underneath the video. So let's just clarify this world card first of all. Of course, ruled by Saturn. We have the 7 of Pentacles. This harvesting and coming to fruition, something that you have been working on. We have a Queen of Swords coming in. Could be an air sign energy that's important. We have another 9 of Wands as well. That's showing up again, a repeated card. Page of Swords, more air energy that we're working with, but news and information, messages that you've been waiting for, coming in with a more positive, favourable outcome perhaps than you expected, but we'll see what else comes through. We've got Strength and the Queen of Cups. A little bit of restriction and heavy energy coming in by way of a person, and perhaps again this is related to the snake that you're just kind of holding at bay here. Nice ace energy showing up for you here, and healing energy over that 3 of Swords. So love the Magician coming in for you this month. Here's my Knight of Wands. He's shown up in every single reading this month. Very, I think, indicative of this Jupiter squaring Uranus and this very impulsive, rash energy that's flying around. But of course it does link into your sign, so we'll see what else it has to share here. So we have Death and Empress card coming in again. Nine of Cups again. Okay, beautiful. I'm going to leave it there, Sagittarius. Thanks for joining me. And if you're joining me for the extended, we'll continue this shortly. Thanks so much. Take good care. Bye for now.